Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for January 20, 2022, the Screw You edition. We rarely get to say that on the Daily Compliance News, so I have to say it again. Screw you employees. And why do I start with this story? Well, those will remember Better.com, whose CEO fired 900 people on a Zoom call while claiming it had hurt his feelings to do so. Well, he was given some time off, but now he's back. Can you believe that? Well, how would you like to work at Better.com, where you have such a worker-centric employment? And they made some other changes based upon an investigation by Jenner and Block. They include making it a more respectful workplace, bringing in senior management to help with company leadership. They've got some new board members. They don't have a chief compliance officer, though. So, or at least they haven't brought anybody in for that role. So, the Screw You edition, just unbelievable. Next up, from the OCCRP.org, an article about the former president of Kazakhstan, who's been laying low since the country plunged into violence in early January, has hid more than allegedly hid more than $100 million in various charitable entities which are beholden to him. I should say that his jet is worth over $100 million. He's got $8 billion. So you wonder why people are upset? Well, in Kazakhstan, it's pretty clear there is the reason. Next up, from the Wall Street Journal, the UK audit regulator, the Financial Reporting Council, unveiled a 3-year plan covering its strategy and priorities. The FRC is in the process of folding into an audit, reporting, and governance authority in the UK. But the uptick is, or rather the bottom line is, they're going to increase staff and budget for increased enforcement actions going forward. So in the United Kingdom, watch out. And finally, it appears the NLRB is set to end the use of gag orders in employee arbitration cases. Many companies allow employees to arbitrate employment disputes, typically around termination, but of course these are confidential. Employers want to hide as much information as they can so that people will not be aware of the treatment given to workers. And now the NLRB seems poised to cut back on this. Of course, under the past Trump administration, they allowed the employers to keep its gag order in place. So good news from the NLRB. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.